Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Uled Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, so we have the Four of Discs, which is my favorite tarot card, favorite tarot archetype. And this is one that's really all about fortification, about getting back into that place of solid foundation of things coming back into alignment, everything being balanced. And really, I think of it as like a time where we return to home base and we recharge ourselves. We, gain some perspective away from the greater situation. Okay. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to be in this energy with you today, Pisces. And let's go ahead. We're going to turn this thing here. Okay. We'll go ahead and just lift this up and take a look. And so, Pisces, I really feel so honored that you decided to click on this reading. Now, if you'd like to help support the channel in some way, liking, subscribing, and also leaving comments on videos is very helpful as well. The other thing that I wanted to mention at the beginning here is if you have any prayer requests or requests for, like positive energy sent your way, please put those in the comments, or you can also email them to ulaishere@gmail.com. And I know some of us don't really like to air out all of our business, although I, kind of do. But yeah, sometimes you just want it to be private, so you can email me. And the other thing I wanted to ask, I know so many questions, right? The other thing I wanted to ask everybody is, what are you doing for the solstice that's coming up here real quick? We're going into the summer solstice, midsummer, the kind of gateway into the Bacchanalian. Now, in the southern hemisphere now, we're going into, right, late autumn into winter. It's probably pretty chilly in some places. I would love to hear what everybody is planning. Do you have a ritual, a ceremony? Do you have dreams and, like lofty goals of actually doing something for the solstice? But, like a lot of us, we get to the day and you think, I'm tired. I didn't prepare anything. I'm going to say a little prayer, a little thanks, and that's good enough. I definitely have done that one or two times in my life. But, maybe you have a dream of what you would like to do. And maybe one day actually, get it done. And everything will arrive in its right time. So there's no pressure. Okay. Now we're back to the tea leaves here. So let's go ahead. We have, it looks like, the letters BF. I'm going to say BF. I was going to say BS, but I don't think so. I think this is an F. It's like a fancy old F. I do my Fs with like kind of a little curve like this as well. Next to it, we have the ibis. You can see right here. Look at that beak. Okay, the sacred ibis bird. So we know that this is the animal related to, or one of the animals related to Thoth or Thoth, however you like to say it. And this is the god of magic, among a lot of other things, a lot of the sciences and stuff as well. But this is the god of magic. And I'm seeing up here we also have, it looks like the emperor holding the sword. And then over here we have, it looks like the Empress. Okay, you can see, here's the head of the Emperor right here in the body, and then the sword right in front in a seated position. Now, over here we have the Empress. So body would be here in a seated position. We have the head here. It looks like an empty chair, possibly over here. And we have birds. Okay, so messages being sent between. So, to me, with the balance of the Emperor and the Empress, yes, Emperor, Empress, we have the masculine and feminine, and then we have the Magician. And we have the sword. So I do feel that there is a situation here that has arisen. You are thinking it through. We have the sword, which indicates the air element and one of thought. And we have this masculine, feminine balancing that is happening. We also have the face of a cat up here. And I cannot help but feel like you are getting into this place where you're really just not paying attention to anything but what's going on in your world, your little life, right? And I say little life because they always, we're like a little microcosm compared to like the collective, let's just say, or, our place within nature. We're just a little blip, right? In our own little personal universes, would probably, I guess, maybe seem smaller than the larger whole, right? So that's why I say little life. I'm not trying to diminish, anything going on with you, but I feel like you were just fully focused on, and what is the thing? Making some really deep decisions. And that's why we have the Emperor and the Empress versus, maybe King, Queen, we're talking like Queen of Swords or King of Discs or, whatever. Or even verses like the Hierophant and the High Priestess and so on and so forth. So we have these two archetypes that rule over many different systems, right? And so I feel like for you, there almost seems to be, and this coincides with that Four of Discs energy, there almost seems to be maybe a situation where you acted out of character, you felt like you were kind of forced into doing something you didn't want to do, or, and I mean like, you did something like at work that really felt like it went against your own personal morality or, virtues or whatever it is. And I feel that this has really pushed you into yourself because, you're a sensitive person. You feel bad when you do something affects somebody else in a way that it's stressful, emotional, harmful, whatever. And even with the layers of illusion, right? These layers of professionality and business and this and that, it often is an excuse for people to behave poorly and to make decisions about their lives and how they interact with others and whatever that they usually wouldn't do on a personal level. But this allows for these kinds of things to take place. And unfortunately, I don't think that's rare. I, for one, have worked in the restaurant business for a lot of my adult life, at least I used to. Mostly waitressing, but also working, back of house as well in the kitchen. And I'll tell you what, I love the food industry. I absolutely do. I love working in restaurants, but it's very difficult work. I know you might scoff, but if you've never worked at a restaurant, you don't know what the heck you're talking about. Sorry, not sorry. It's a lot of work. And it's treacherous socially, professionally. It just all of life's comedies and tragedies play out in places like this. And I assume in all kinds of work environments. So I feel you really going into self because it's something that happened out in that realm. Okay. Now, I don't think that this is always a bad thing. I think that Pisces, you operate at your, highest functionality when you are in your own realm, in your own world, in that interior. Now we have a dog up here. Okay, and you can see the body here. We also have, it looks like the letters WM or WN, if that means anything to you. So, we have the child here. We have the parent here. You can see the head, kind of in a kneeling position or a caretaker or something like this. We have the dog. We have another person standing here, a dog kind of jumping up. And to me, I'm looking also at this kind of dog's face here, nose, mouth. Kind of, I get this feeling that there was a child, maybe your own child, maybe a niece and nephew, maybe a stepchild, somebody that you took in, whoever it was. I feel that there was always such a huge and involved love, very close. I feel like you were very close. And I'm saying this in past tense because I feel that, not that they are gone or have transitioned, but I feel like they went from being somebody that you're very close with, and then at some point there seems to be this shift in personality, in alignment, in really just the way they behave in general. And this maybe is part of just growing up, but I also feel that something changed with them, where I almost feel like this is like a very vindictive person. Like this is a person that comes into the mix and just unleashes chaos. Like every time they're around, things are going way wrong. Not just like a little blip here and there. You get a flat tire, you have an upset stomach, you're overly busy and tired and dragging along, the things that we all run into here and there. I'm talking about, they come to stay with you, they're arguing with the neighbors, things are going missing, they're, starting arguments within the family, they're, just assuming you're going to be paying for, I don't even know, just stuff that it would never happen usually, right? But all of a sudden they come around and your life is just one ordeal after another. And of course, you love them. You love them dearly. You probably raised them in some capacity and to some degree. And yet, it feels almost impossible to get back into a healthy and functional alignment together. And I imagine that you have done so many different things to try to help. You've tried it all. And I feel that at this point, there just seems to be a sense of, I have to stop putting so much into this. I have to stop letting them affect me so deeply. I don't feel like you feel good about this at all. I feel like you lay awake at night thinking about where things went wrong. Why is it like this? What did I do? But over here, I see all of these people with their arms raised. I even see people down here dwelling, it looks like almost in a little cave or a sanctuary. So I feel like there is some kind of ease, a sense of safety in your faith, in your spiritual longings. And I feel like maybe this is finding your spiritual community again. Like if you maybe were going to church often, going to temple often, going to the mosque, and really involved with your community. And then all of a sudden, things have been getting, busy, and you stop going as often, and then it gets to be, less and less. And maybe now you're only going once a year, if that. And you see that this was such a important part of your life. It was a place to go and be with people who you cared about and who cared about you. People that understood. And maybe even it doesn't, sometimes, and I have to say this, sometimes we just, and you don't have to always, how do I say this, like, politely? I guess even from my own perspective, right? I like to go to religious and spiritual gatherings and ceremonies, and I like to go to church. I like to go to different expressions, right, of people's faith. I like to be around people practicing in their faith. Do I always believe what they believe? No. I'm just going to be real. No. Do I, but do I judge it? No, obviously not. I'm there not to be cynical. I'm there because I want to be around people in their faith. I want to be in a sacred place. Does it have to be the thing that drives my life? No, we all have room for our own, expressions of our faith and what we call God or goddess or divine or the cosmos or whatever. It should be different for each of us, right? I mean, we can have commonality, but it could be different. Now, what I'm talking about here is Sometimes we just need to go and be around people who are interested or focused on the kind of work that we want to do. Doesn't matter who the icon is. Doesn't matter who, not always. Not always. Sometimes we just need to be around that energy and we need to get going. And so I bring this up because if this is a thing that is blocking you from really like kind of going to some of these kinds of places to get that spiritual jump start, don't let it block you. Don't let it block you. Go to the place, go to the Buddhist temple, go to the ashram, I really want to go visit the Transcendental Meditation Center in Iowa. And am I a transcendental meditationist? No, not really. I'm interested in it. I've practiced it. I wouldn't consider myself aligned, but yes, it would be a pilgrimage for me of sorts, right? And so maybe going to those places, being among the people that make you feel like you are activated in the sphere of yourself, which is your faith, your agape, that channel that flows into you, and it spreads out through all parts of your being, all aspects of your life. Sometimes we just have to get out there and go. And now maybe you have a place, you're already, very much involved, but maybe you're not focused. Maybe you've been distracted. Maybe, you have been going and doing the work, but you're really focused on the social aspects, or, it becomes kind of a hanging out place, or, and the work is being done always, no matter what, if we realize it or not. But sometimes, right, it can feel like I need to be more intentional now. And so maybe this is a time of refocusing. Okay. But whatever it is, I feel like this is where you find that little bit of peace that I know that you're often wanting for. And aren't we all? Right? So let's go ahead. We're also looking over here. So it looks like we have a person in a raincoat. That's what I'm imagining, running over here. You can see the head and the body, the legs. We have the number 12. We have the Empress. And we have a person with an animal up here. I immediately got this feeling about animal rescue, or like maybe you're encountering, or you've encountered an animal that is sick or has been injured. Maybe you've had one of the dreaded birds, smashing into a window, and they're, kind of disoriented, maybe a little injured, and you have to take it into like a rehab place for wild animals and that kind of thing. But I do feel like this is going to be an important thing for you. And honestly, I get the feeling that you are a person that has animals showing up in your life fairly often. Like, you're the person that has the cat that just, picks your porch, or, you're at work and there's like a stray dog that like won't stop trying to hang out with you, and it just, they're drawn to you. You're an animal whisperer. And so I see this happening, or it has happened recently. The other thing we have, and I do feel like this is a messenger. I almost feel like this is your mom maybe sending you a message. Which is, I feel like your mom, who I feel like would have always gone to war for you, no matter what, was also pretty stern. Like a lovely person, but also very, almost kind of stoic, I would say. Definitely a feeling of being from the world before, right? If you're older like I am, I'm somewhere around 40, somewhere in there. You remember, or at least I hope you do a little bit, the world when we were still mostly analog. And then if you think about, your parents, their parents, your great-great-grandparents, yeah, people, not all, of course, and it depends on where you are and all of that. But I think people were, especially my great-grandparents' generation, the American Depression generation, much more serious about things than I would say we are. Like, I feel like my great-grandmother would have thought I was a straight up fool at times. I'm sure the way that, I joke and laugh and, just kind of my absurdity in life constantly. My grandmother was, both of my Bubba, we called my other one my Bubba or Baba, and they were both hard women. I mean, loving, but strong women. And didn't mess around, not like I do. So, but maybe that's a sign of healing, right? But I feel like this is a mother figure, a great grandmother, maybe a grandmother, great grandma. But I do feel very, very, very proper. Now, I'm not saying like they spoke as if they're royalty or something like that. No, but serious about things. Like a person that would never allow you to speak poorly of somebody in front of them, even in private, really kept up appearances for everybody. But I do feel like there is this sense of, and I feel like with that raincoat, that's the thing, is that I almost feel like there's a sense of, kind of forewarning, that you better get things set up in your life because you just don't know, right? And I'm trying to figure out, and I want to be very careful about this because sometimes I don't really exactly know what they mean, and I don't want to be offensive, but I almost feel like they're telling me that you need to get your affairs in order, not because anything bad is happening now directly, like there's no indication that some acute thing is going on or whatever, but just the sense of like you keep putting things off. You know what I mean? Like, here's like an example. When you have all the paperwork to fill out your will and your directive and all this kind of thing, and it's been sitting on the kitchen table for like 6 months. You know what I mean? Like it's been in that pile of to-do things for a long time. And everybody in your life will tell you, including me, because my husband, my first husband, his name was Andrew. He passed away when he was 36 years old, out of nowhere, in his sleep, a heart issue. And I was 29, had no idea what to do. Not a single inkling. I had no idea. What does somebody do in that situation? So, I'm a firm believer in having your things in order. Guess what? It still takes me forever to get my own stuff together, And so I feel like this is kind of like that mom energy, that matriarch energy telling you, baby, get your stuff together, right? There's nothing coming down the line that I see right now. But listen, we're all playing by the same rules here, right? So, Mom says, get your affairs in order because you never know. And you don't want things to go away that you wouldn't want, right? So, 3 lucky numbers. Number 21. Okay, number 21. Ooh, number 42. 21, 42, we doubled it. And 62. Awesome. So we're also going to do our Wild Bohemian affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, 25, I am divine truth. You are a magnetic creator and alchemist. Embody the potent power of gratitude. Embody the potent power of gratitude. Absolutely. Absolutely, as I like to say to my daughter. And I get a good laugh. Not every time. Sometimes she thinks it's funny. All right, these are the Dreamer's deck. Now, stop where it feels right. Here we go. Oh, these are upside down. Okay, I know that all the wisdom I need to make the right decision lies within me. I am intuitive. I am intuitive. Yeah, I am a firm believer that we have all the infos, just a matter of accessing it, right? Finding a way to it. All right, Pisces, I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you would be so kind to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, it helps the channel a bunch. If you don't want to, I understand. That's all right. But also, I don't know. I think that's it, really. I'm just excited for this next period of time here. It's nice and warm. I want to swim. I want to get out. Last night, we had our first fire, for our first campfire out in the yard, and that was nice. And just more of that. Just more of that for a while, and then bring the snow on, because I'm here for it as well. All right. Well, anyways, I hope all is well over there, Pisces. Let me know how you're doing. I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.